How's it going, guys? Readiness Fuse back with you again. We're doing another firearms box opening today. However, this one is definitely different from what I have been experiencing. This is the first package that I've ordered that has come with significant damage on it. This was ordered from Century Arms, and I've ordered several things from them in the past, as I'm sure you've seen if you watch my channel, and usually it comes very well packed. This go around, it was a departure from what they normally do, and I think the box suffered just a little bit because of that. With that being said, the majority of the blame is probably to put on UPS, who definitely mishandled the package. So let's take a look at the outside of the box here first so we can kind of assess what kind of damage has happened to it. Right here on the side, we can see that the cardboard has dirt all over it. So I'm guessing that it was dropped. It is wet, visibly like soaked through. The bolt handle on the rifle is poking out of this hole here, so it was dropped on the bolt handle side. I don't know if that's caused any damage to the rifle yet. On the very rear of the box here, there's some damage in the corner down here where the buttstock is. All throughout the box, there are broken places in the cardboard. Pretty much down the entire length of the front of the box, the cardboard is extremely damaged and has almost no structural integrity left. It's also moist. So it did get wet. It's been raining pretty heavily over the past few days here in Georgia, and I'm thinking that this was left outside or so. I don't know what happened to it. Your guess is as good as mine what happened on the shipping truck, but it wasn't good. Up here towards the muzzle, the box is completely ripped open. There's a hole in the side here where it fell on the front barrel band, and here is the muzzle of the rifle. Now it looks like it's in okay shape. Sometimes this particular rifle will come with a muzzle cover. This one is not included. I don't know if it would have been included anyway, but it may have been lost in shipping. I don't know. So let's go ahead and cut into this and take a look at what we actually have. Hopefully the box is what's in the worst shape and the contents are still in good condition, but the only way to know for sure is to open this thing up and see. Look how wet this is. It's completely drenched in this portion of the box that is very flimsy and floppy at this point. Luckily, they put an internal sleeve of cardboard on it, so maybe that helped us preserve it just a little bit. Whatever kind of impact it suffered caused the bolt handle to knock its way through 3 layers of cardboard. There's our rifle. Looks like in the front part of the box, they packed the magazine in separately. It is wrapped in bubble wrap. That's good. I was afraid that the magazine might have been lost or damaged. It has some scraping on the side there, but that might just be due to it being placed in the rifle. The magazine does look in good shape other than that. There was a little bit of packing paper in the front. Let's go ahead and get the rifle all the way out of the box. I'm going to go ahead and apologize ahead of time. Usually, if I'm doing a video of this nature, I try to do some research beforehand, so that way I can provide some useful information as I'm going through the unboxing process. But due to the external condition of this box, I had to get right into it, so I wasn't able to do as much research as I would like. This is another Swiss rifle. This will be the 3rd Swiss rifle I have added to my collection. This is the original Schmidt Rubin rifle, the Schmidt Rubin model 1889. It is chambered in the 7.5 by 53.5 Swiss cartridge, also known as GP90. That was actually one of the first smokeless cartridges in rifles. The Lebel predates it a little bit, but it was in the ballpark. A lot of time you'll hear it referred to as semi-smokeless, but as the YouTube channel Bloke in the Range just went over in depth, it was indeed a smokeless cartridge. This rifle was adopted into Swiss service in 1889. There was about 212,000 of these produced. It's about 51.25 inches in length, which is a very long rifle, and it weighs nearly 11 pounds. Let's take a look at the outside before we get into any more information and see what kind of damage was done in shipping. On the bolt handle, which was exposed, I can definitely tell that it is bummed up a little bit. The rubberized grip on the bolt handle there definitely shows some scuffing, and I'm sure that wasn't there beforehand. Very luckily, the end of the buttstock doesn't seem to be cracked or anything, so if it did fall, it didn't land very hard on the buttstock. One of the characteristics of this rifle that the later 9611 and model 1911 rifles have that this doesn't have is the added-in semi-pistol grip. This is just straight wrist. The quality of the wood on this rifle looks very good. It was sold on Century Arms' website as a very good condition rifle, and I would agree with that. The bluing is pretty nice and even throughout the whole rifle. It does have little bitty specks of rust on it, but nothing significant. And the wood is in very nice shape. It has a pretty looking finish on it. I'm not seeing any real structural damage so far. There is a little scrape on the wood here. I don't know if that was attributed to it being dropped in shipping or whether that was on it beforehand. The middle barrel band seems to be in good shape with a little bit of rust on it. And towards the muzzle end, I don't see any cracks in the wood or anything. It looks very nice. Again, the condition of the wood finish is in very good shape, and the blue is very dark on it, looking like it's been refinished. The muzzle's in good shape. I'll be inserting a picture of the bore here. We'll see what that looks like. As I stated earlier, I'm missing the muzzle cover, but it may or may not have had that included anyway. I don't have a bayonet for this rifle, and this one did not come with a sling. Let's check our serial numbers right fast to see if they are matching. Both the barrel and the receiver are matching. The butt plate is a matching serial number, 604. The stock itself is not serialized as far as I can see. However, it does have a really cool stamp on it here. We have a 5 with a 2 stamped over it. And I see a little Swiss cross and what looks like DE, C1, or CI, or it could even be CL, I suppose. To remove the bolt on the Swiss 1889 rifle, push the bolt to the rear and then depress this lever, which will allow you to remove the bolt from the rifle. The bolt handle is the most damaged part. It looks like it did get sort of scraped up. The metal is sort of worn, but the rest of this bolt looks great. It's pretty shiny. It's not quite in the outstanding condition that my 9611 is, but it does look extremely nice. Has some grease on it. It is also a matching serial number. Let's check the serial number on our magazine. 604 in that as well, so the magazine is also matching. That is good so far. It seems to be all matching serial numbers. There's also a small Swiss cross cartouche on the buttstock here. Very tiny, but it's a nice touch. The rear sight on these particular rifles is fairly unique. It's a very large piece of metal with graduations all the way up to 2,000 meters in 100 meter increments. So there is 20 levels of elevation on this thing. It has a tab on it here that you will depress to allow you to raise and lower your sight elevation all the way up to the 2,000 meters. Go ahead and reinsert our bolt. So let's try to insert our magazine here. It doesn't seem to be locking in for some reason. I don't actually know exactly what's going on with the magazine. I have looked at it very closely. I've never dealt with one of these types of rifles before, so I'm by no means an expert on the type. Nothing on this lever actually touches the magazine at all. So there's nothing to lock it into the rifle. So unfortunately at the moment I cannot get the magazine to seat into the rifle. However, I can talk about the magazine for just a moment. So this is a 12 round magazine. This rifle was adopted into service, like I said, in 1889. So well in excess of 100 years ago at this point, and they were using a standard 12-round magazine for their infantry, which was pretty huge for that day and time. While I was messing with the magazine release, trying to figure out what was going on with that, I noticed a couple things that did happen to it in shipping, so we'll take a look at that right fast. I was hoping it came out completely unscathed, but it did not. On the rear sling loop here, we can see that it is gapped out quite a bit from the back of the stock, and that is not supposed to be that way. We'll pull this screw in just a moment and see what this is looking like underneath here. I'm thinking that screw has backed its way out. Hopefully none of the wood is broken. And then also a very odd occurrence has happened up here in our barrel bands. It's probably quite hard to come through on camera, but you can see it plain as day if you look at it this way. So this barrel band is not on straight at all. It is cocked heavily to the side and it should be straight. This cocking of the barrel band hasn't broken any wood, luckily. But what it has done, it has gapped out the wood significantly. There's a ledge of wood that goes all the way down the side where it has literally twisted under the torsion of this falling on its side and this barrel band getting cocked sideways. So I'm gonna grab a screwdriver in just a second and we're gonna try to remedy this as well. I'm so lucky it didn't break any of the wood on it, but there's a ledge that runs all the way through where the wood has just been twisted and contorted due to it falling. But I am gonna go ahead and try to check this out on camera just to see if we can figure out what's going on underneath this sling swivel. So I just have a screwdriver here. These screws are in great shape. They don't look like they've been inserted and removed a whole bunch. They actually have a very nice shiny polish on them. This one on the gapped out side has quite a bit more resistance than that other one did, but it does appear to be coming out. So we got our two screws there. There's the actual sling swivel. and it looks like all the wood under there is in perfect shape. I actually don't think that this has anything to do with the fall. What it actually looks like, it's this lacquer overflow. So in our little channel here, where the cutout for the Sling Swivel is, in this corner, it has a large amount of lacquer coating in there that is hardened up and made a shell, and that's what this was bumping up against. So that has nothing to do with packaging damage. That is a flaw of the finishing of the stock. We'll try to straighten up our front barrel band too while we're doing this. It's actually the middle barrel band. It's retained by one screw. I can hear the wood moving back to its original position. It was under a lot of tension. Very surprising that it didn't break. See if that loosened up enough to move, and it did. So that just popped right back to the position it should have been in. Let's go ahead and take it all the way off to see if that bummed up our wood at all. After you get that screw taken out, you press down this spring and you push the barrel band forward. I don't see any breaks or cracks or anything in the wood underneath the barrel band, and everything does seem to have made its way back to the proper position. No harm done as far as I can tell. I would have liked this video to have been a little bit more information dense, but due to my lack of preparation time, I really don't have that much information to provide. Maybe I'll do a follow-up video in the future. The ammo for this rifle is extremely scarce. The odds of finding some in the wild is very low. You pretty much have to load your own. And at the moment, I'm not set up to reload rifle cartridges, so shooting this thing is not in my immediate future unless I get lucky at a gun show and just so happen to fall upon some of it randomly. I think I dodged a bullet with the external condition of the rifle. Nothing important broke. Stock's in good shape. A little bit of metal wear, but nothing big. And I'm actually pretty happy with this rifle. These are still in stock at Century Arms. So if you are considering adding one of these to your collection, you can actually do it right now. They are considered antiques, so there is no special firearms license required to order this rifle. Anybody that can legally own a firearm in the United States can go on Century Arms website and order one of these for themselves right now and have it shipped straight to your door, completely legal with no additional paperwork. It's been several days since my first video unboxing of this rifle. I have since figured out what was going on with the magazine cutoff, not allowing me to insert the magazine all the way. Supposedly, these magazine cutoffs have 3 positions. In the first position, the lever will be fully up and flush against the stock, as shown here, and that makes a small gap between the inside of the receiver and the top of the magazine, which makes it to where a round cannot be stripped off the magazine by working the action, thus being a magazine cutoff. The second position, you pull it down, and as we're pulling this down, you can tell the magazine itself is raising up. It moves up about 1/8 of an inch or so, maybe not even quite that much. It's just enough to fill that gap in between the top of the magazine and the inside of the receiver, allowing you to strip rounds off the magazine. There is supposedly a third position in which this comes down even further. No matter what I was able to do, I was not able to get it into that third position, and that's why I was not able to get the magazine inserted initially. So I thought about it for a little while and tried to figure a workaround since I could not get the lever all the way down, and what I did is I took this screw all the way out, I took the magazine cutoff all the way out, and I placed them onto the magazine and reinserted it into the rifle and then screwed it all in, and it is now locked in place properly and is not going anywhere. That is not the proper way to do it, but given the intricacies of this specific rifle, I thought that was the best way to do it. Only other thing I could have done is try to force the magazine cut off all the way into that third position and risk breaking something, which I think what I did was a better idea than doing that. So the magazine is in there as it should be. I can't remember if I stated in the video or not, but the standard magazine for this rifle is actually a 12-round magazine. That was later shortened to a 6-round magazine when they reworked the Schmidt Rubin rifles in later configurations. 12 rounds really wasn't needed. You could reload fairly quickly with a stripper clip, and you didn't need to carry that large extended magazine poking out of the bottom of the rifle, although it does make for a very handsome looking rifle. All right guys, well I was just gonna give you that short little update at the end of the video here. If you watched this long, thank you very much. If you liked this video, please subscribe to the channel. I have more content, including Swiss rifles and many other things coming in the near future. Thanks for checking it out, guys, and we'll catch you in the next video. See you then. Peace.